right, everybody, we are ready to go. Second game of the day for the Rockies and the Brewers, as we didn't play last night. So last night's game was played at noon today as part of a day-night doubleheader. The Rockies took it on the chin 10-2, looking to turn things around here in game two. And they will send Antonio Senzatela to the mound for his second start. And actually, I think it's his third start. And Tyler Alexander will get a spot start for the Brew Crew in their game. He is a left-hander. All right, so Senzatela is 0-1. He was 4-15, 6.65 ERA in the real season. There is one player on the Brewers not carded, third baseman Oliver Dunn, so I do have a card set aside for him. Two players on the Rockies not carded, Chris Bryant and Mr. Veen over here. So I've got cards set out for them as well. They're all under 200 hitters, so they will use the worst nameless player card that we have. Game number 11 on the total season for the Rockies. They are 3-7 as they enter this game. Milwaukee 6-5 based on the Action PC computer replay. We're at Coors Field, which of course is hitter friendly. Singles 1-19, home runs 1-9. Senzatela is a -1 hold. Alexander is a -4. So I think it's enough preliminaries. Lineup for the Brewers, quite a bit different than it was in game one when they faced the left-hander Freeland. Now they have the other hitters in there. Now some of the lefty hitters are in the game. Brian Turang will lead off. Hello, Oz or OZP. And Tabby, of course, is right here with me, just checking me out. She's fascinated by the dice. So every time she hears me set up in here, she comes running in, sits on her perch, and just sits there and watch me do my thing. So, all right, here is Turang. We're underway, 2-6. Oh, got to have Turang's card up there, don't I? 2-6 for Turang, and that's trouble for Senzatela. 1-2 is a double, 3-20 is a single. That's a single for Turang. He starts off the ball game with a base hit. He's going to look to get the lead. To get the good lead, he needs a 2-5 or a 12. And he's got the 12. He's got the good lead. So he's an 18. Being held is a 16. And then the -1 is a 15. So 1-15, and he will steal it. And he does. Stolen base for Turang. So right away, Brewers getting aggressive. Runner in scoring position right off the bat. And here's Jackson Churio. He is in left field for this game. That's a 6-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. We know Doyle is going to get to it. He's a 1, but we need to make sure it's not an F2 because the runner could tag up in that case and go to third. So it's a 1 and an 18. That'll be an F1 for sure, so the runner will have to hold. And, of course, the only error ratings or only error numbers on the center fielder with the E3 are 16 and 18. So he just has to avoid 16 and 18, which he does. So making the play is Doyle, and retreating to second base is Turang. One away for hello, Robert, and hello, Ben, and hello, Philip. Philip, this little thing here is, I feel like a salesman for this thing. Came from Amazon. The name of it is Nugnert, and they come in multiple colors. In fact, Robert got the green one from what I've seen on his videos. He's got the one with the green felt. I think they have one with a red felt, purple felt, and a blue felt. So since my original dice tower I was using was a green felt, I wanted to get something different, so I went with the blue. The only problem with the blue is I can't use blue dice because there's no contrast there. I'm really kind of stuck using the white and the red, which is just fine. But in case I wanted to use blue dice at some point, it'd be kind of hard to do it. All right, here is Christian Yelich, designated hitter. So 4-7, and that's going to be a 1-16 single, only 1 star. And that's going to end up being a base hit, puts runners at the corners with only 1 out. Yelich, he's going to look to get a lead. Yelich needs a 2-5 or a 12. And 11, he does not get the lead, so he will hold. And that'll take us to the catcher, William Contreras. Rockies playing the infield at double play depth early in the game. That's a 3-9 for Contreras. Fly ball right field B question mark, potential sac fly. Right fielder Veen has a 0 arm. So let's see here. Right field B. So lead runner Terang is a 16. When they have the B question mark, you add 2 to it and take away the arm. Well, there's no arm to take away, so it's just 1 to 18 for a sacrifice fly. And he's in there. So it's a sacrifice fly to right field, and the Brewers are on the board. 2 outs now for right fielder Sal Frelick. It's a 3-8 for Frelick, and he'll fly to center to end it. But the Brew Crew get a run here in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Milwaukee 1, and the Rockies coming to bat. Tyler Alexander is a spot starter. I mistakenly used him for one inning of relief in the previous game, but he's going to come back out here. I think only pitched 3 innings real world, so we're not expecting a lot out of Alexander. We can give him 3 innings. They got a loaded bullpen, so they'll go to that and have a bullpen day. All right. Hey there, Barbara. All right, Brenton Doyle. 4-12 against the right-hander. That's a ground ball, second base X. Second baseman is Terang. He's a 1-E10. It was a 1. We know he's going to get to it. We're only concerned about his error, which is an E10. And on an E10 second baseman, he has to avoid 4, 16, 17, and 18. Pretty simple. And he gets a 13, so he barely does it. But he does it, in fact. Whether it's barely or not, it counts the same. Doyle is out, 1 away, and here's Sean Bouchard, left fielder. It's a 4-7, and that's going to be a single. Bouchard with a 1-out single. Alexander is a -4 hold, and Bouchard gets caught stealing quite a bit. He stole 1 base, got caught one time, so I don't think the Rockies are going to try to steal with him. They've got the big boys coming up, so no sense running out of an inning. Here's Ezekiel Tovar, and Tabby is right here with me resting on the perch. Here's Tovar, 4-11. Fly ball right field X. We're looking at Frelick. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're looking at the E4. And a run on first can't tag up regardless. So E4, we're looking at 3, 4, 15, and 18. Got to avoid those. And he does. So Frelick makes the play. 2 down for Ryan McMahon, third baseman. McMahon, 3-10, lefty, and that's a ballpark single check. Well, at Coors Field, that's almost automatic. 1 to 19, and it will be a single. It's only 1 star, but it does set up a clutch situation for Hunter Goodman, the catcher, and their best hitter. Goodman is a clutch situation in the clutch against left-handers. He will lose a hit on 3-11. That is a 4-5 instead, and that's a strikeout for Alexander, his first, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing for the Rockies. They threaten but do not score. We go to the second, 1-0 Brew Crew. And we'll have Rhys Hoskins, Garrett Mitchell, and Oliver Dunn coming up for the Brew Crew. Here is Rhys Hoskins, 6'8", and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Farmer. He's a 3E5. 3 and a 5. That's going to be close. I think that might drop for a base hit or get through for a base hit. Let's see. 3 and a 5. No, actually, G3. So he will get to it. His E rating is a 5. Only errors are 16 and 18. Got to avoid those. And he does that quite easily. So Farmer will make the play on Hoskins. 1 away for center fielder Garrett Mitchell. And I honestly, there's several guys on the Brew Crew that I don't even know anything about them. I barely heard of Garrett Mitchell. 212 for Mitchell. Whether I heard him or not, he gets a solid triple. Look at this. Do you believe that? 212. He's got a triple right there on his card. Don't even need a D20 for it. It's a straight out triple. Now Tabby's trying to get at my D20. He had 1 triple and 68 at bats. So it's straight out triple. Well, now Tabby wants to get up here. Tab, we really don't need you up here right now. And that brings up Oliver Dunn. He is uncarded, so we're using the nameless player card. The infield is going to come in for the Rockies, try to cut the runoff. We're under Senzatela anyway, 410. And that's going to be a ballpark single check. Let me double check and make sure he is. I didn't check. I'm pretty sure Dunn is right-handed, but I want to double check. He may be left-handed. That's something I forgot to look at. Apologize for that. Let me take a quick gander real quick at their roster. Oliver Dunn played all of 30. He had 36 at-bats on the season. He's actually a left-handed batter, so I'll take that back. He is a left-handed batter. So a 410 against a lefty, well, it's still going to be a ballpark. It's either way. 410. Oh, I'm sorry. 410 over here is a ground ball first base B. That's a huge difference. And with the infield in, they throw the runner out at the plate. Tolia throws it to Goodman to get the force. It's a fielder's choice. What a difference lefty-righty makes. Since he's a left-handed batter, it was a ground ball B first base on a 410. A 410 against a right-handed batter would have been a ballpark single, which would have been automatically, well, pretty much automatically a base hit. So they get the run. They cut the runner off at the plate. And Tolia with a nice throw throws him out. So 2 down, Dunn's at first for Joey Ortiz. 3-6 for Ortiz, and he pops it up to short, and that's going to do it. So Senzatela pitches around potential danger with that triple by Mitchell. Go to the bottom of the second, it is still 1-0. Due up for the Rockies, it will be Farmer, Bryant, and Tolia. Scheduled hitters, Farmer, Bryant, and Tolia. Kyle Farmer. 610 for Farmer. That's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Dunn. He's a 4E37. 4E37. Dunn's a 4 and an 8. That might get through for a hit. Let's see. Nope, 4 and an 8. It's a G3, so we'll get to that. E37 at third base. He's got to avoid 9, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17. And that is an 11. I don't think he avoided what he was supposed to avoid. E37 and an 11 is a one-base error. It's right here on the first sheet there. So one-base error. And since he's uncarded, the way I calculated his error is Strat-O-Matic does have the little instruction sheets of how to rate these players. I did look up his real stats. He was not a very good fielder, so they told me to give him an E37. So that's what I did. And lo and behold, he came up. So there, what are you going to do? All right, here's Chris Bryant. He's also uncarded. That happens early in the season when they start trying new guys and they figure out who can play and who can't. You're going to get a lot of uncarded guys early in the season. 310 against the left-hander. That's a fly ball to left, and that's one away. And that brings up Michael Tolia, first baseman. Switch hitter batting right-handed against the lefty Alexander. That's a 6-8, and that's a walk. So first and second with now 1 out. And that will take us to Veen. If you don't know who Veen is, you're not alone. Let's get the full entry on Veen here. He only plays for the Rockies a very short bit. Zach Veen, Z is in zebra, A is in apple, C is in cat, Veen. And he is an outfielder. Oops. Get over here real quick if I can pull it up. That would help. So there he is on the retro sheet there, Zach Veen. And if you look at Zach Veen hit, and that even rhymes. Zach Veen hit 118. How about that? It rhymes. So, and he did have 1 home run. He had 4 hits on the season. One of them was a home run. One was a double. So pretty decent there. But Zach Veen, not your everyday ordinary name. He does bat left-handed, so it is a lefty-on-lefty matchup for Zach Veen. And we get a 1-7 for Veen, and he strikes out. Second strikeout for Alexander. Now it's a clutch situation for Brenton Doyle, and then the clutch against lefties. He gains a hit here on 2-8. That's a 4-9, and that's going to be a fly to left, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing there for the Rockies. They come away empty-handed. Go to the third, and it is still 1-0. Senzatela will come out and face the top of the order, Bryce Turang. Bryce Turang. That's a 6-4, and that's going to be a fly ball center field X. Doyle's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E3. The only way he makes an error as an E3 center fielder is on a 16 or an 18. And he certainly makes the play there. 1 away. And that brings up Jackson Chourio. Maybe call him Honey Nut Chourio. I don't know. Here is 5-11. And righty-righty is a ballpark single check. So that's, again, other than a 20, it's a base hit. And it's a base hit for Chourio. And Chourio will look to get the lead. He needs a 3 through 6 to get the lead. 10, he doesn't get it. He has to hold. Here's Christian Yelich. That's a 6-10 lefty, catcher X rather. Goodman's a 4, not a very good catcher. Good hitter, not a good catcher. 4 and a 15. We'll see what that brings about. Might be a pass ball or something. 4 and a 15 is a potential pass ball. And his error rating is a 10. So he's got to avoid 12 and 18, which he does. But it's a P/F, which basically means we're looking at the wild pitch rating of the starting pitcher to determine if a pass ball has occurred. And the wild pitch rating on Senzatela is a 13. That's a 16. So that means he blocks it. So that ends up being a foul out. 2 away for William Contreras, catcher. 6-11, and that's going to be a split. 1 to 8 is a single. 9 to 20 is a line out. And that's a line out to short to end the inning. So Senzatela pitches around a base hit. We go to the bottom of the third. It is still 1-0. And Bouchard, who singled his first time up, is going to lead things off. He'll be followed by Tovar and McMahon. 4-11, and that's going to be a fly ball right field X. Let's see, right fielder is Frelick. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. E4, his only chance for errors are 3, 15, and 18. And he will make the play. Retiring Bouchard. Here's Ezequiel Tovar. Tovar 3-3 against the lefty. That's a ballpark single check. So that's just about automatic, as you might expect, and it is here at Coors Field. So Tovar is on, but it's a -4 hold, so they will not try to run. They want to run themselves out of an inning. Here's McMahon. 1-9 lefty struck him out. Strikeout number 3. So Alexander, we're going to cap him at 3 innings because he did mistakenly pitch an inning in relief last night or in the first game. And I believe he only pitched 3 innings real world in this game. So we'll limit him to 3. He's only got a 4 fatigue anyway. So we're going to limit him to the 3 innings and then go to the bullpen. Here's Hunter Goodman. 6-7, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So nice outing there for Alexander. He didn't do so good in relief in the first game, but he certainly did well here. He goes 3 shutout innings. And he's going to give up only 3 hits, no runs. Walks 1 and strikes out 4. And they will go to their bullpen. Let's see who they're going to go to first out of the bullpen. They are going to go to, do they have anybody with multiple innings is the question. Not really. Everybody's a 1-inning guy in this day and age. So they're going to Grant Anderson, a right-hander. He will be coming on next for the Brewers. And I have no idea who Grant Anderson even is. But that's not unusual for the modern game. I don't know a lot of these guys. All right, here is Senzatela back out to face Frelick. Hello, Mr. Utah Mike. Here is Frelick. 2-6 for Frelick, and that's a base hit. Frelick, he's going to look to get a lead. He needs a 2 through 5 or a 12. 2 through 5 or a 12. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. Here's Rhys Hoskins. 5-8 rather. 5-8, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else will be a double. And the double is assumed to go to center. That is a double, but with nobody out, they will hold the runner in third, especially with the -3 arm of Doyle. They will hold Frelick at third base. So second and third, nobody out. And that'll bring up Garrett Mitchell, who tripled his last time up with Oliver Dunn on deck. Mitchell tripled in his first at bat. Infield is in. 1-8, and that's a strikeout, a huge strikeout there for Senzatela. And that's actually his first strikeout of the game. And now the nameless player. Well, he has a name. It's Oliver Dunn, but he doesn't have a card. Infield's still in. It's a 1-6, and that's a ground ball first base A. That'll freeze the runners on the ground ball A with the infield in. And now 2 outs, chance to get out of it for Senzatela if he can get Ortiz. Clutch situation for Ortiz, and he loses a couple of hits in the clutch. 1-12 and 2-4 rather. That's a 5-12, and that's a ground ball first base X. That is Tolia. He's a 3. Huge defensive play here for Tolia. 3-19, he gets to it. E6, the only E6 for a first baseman. The only way he makes an error on the E6 is a 3-13 or an 18. He's got to avoid 3-13 and 18. 14, he barely does it, but he gets to it. Flips to Senzatela covering, and Senzatela works the magic. Gets out of a second and third, nobody out jam, and gets out of the inning. And now Grant Anderson is on in relief of Alexander. He's a right-hander. He'll be facing Farmer, Bryant, and Tolia for the Rockies. That is a 6-8 for Anderson. Struck him out. Anderson out on strikes, and here is Mr. Bryant. He will go on the injured list in about 4 more days. April 13th, I think, is his last game played, and then he's out for the year. So that'd be one less nameless player we have to worry about. 5-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Shortstop is Ortiz. He's a 2E10. 2 and a 4. I still think he gets to that. 2 and a 4 is a G3. Good enough. And E10 it's short. He's got to avoid 16, 17, and 18. Pretty simple. And he does it. 2 down. My internet issues seem to be all well and good now. It's been running fine now since about 10 a.m. this morning. I've had no glitches after last night and this morning having so many problems. And now Tabby wants to get up here. Tabby, don't sit on my bullpen. I need my bullpen, Tabby. Tabby, I need my bullpen. No, don't even think about sitting on the pad. You sit on your perch over here. We're trying to roll dice here. Here's Michael Tolia. That's a 6-10 for Tolia, switch hitter batting left, and that is a strikeout. So Anderson, Grant Anderson, 1-2-3 inning for Grant Anderson. He might pitch a second inning because he only faced 3 batters. So I believe they may just very well let him face another, start another inning. We shall see how that works out. But we go to the top of the 5th, still 1-0. All right, Senzatela, this is his fatigue, and he's got a 5 here, so keep an eye on him. Top of the order, Terang. Terang, 6-10, and that's a catcher X. We're looking again at Goodman, a 4. 4 and a 2, but nobody's on base, so you're not going to have any pass balls or anything. It could be an infield hit, though. 4 and a 2, though, is a WG, so it would be a ground out. And the error rating is a 10. He's got to avoid 12 and 18. And he gets a 12. He makes the error. How about that? An E10 rated catcher needed to avoid 12 and 18. We rolled a 12. So as he's trying to pick the ball up, he boots it. It's going to be an E2 on Hunter Goodman. And now Terang is on, and he's going to try for the lead. Can't blame Senzatela on that one. That wasn't his fault. Terang to get the lead, 2 through 5 or a 12. Doesn't get the lead, he'll hold. Here's Jackson Chourio. Whoop, that one didn't go through. Hold on. Let me get it straight here. There we go. 5-7. And that's a single 2 stars. Now the Rocky bullpen might start to stir a bit now, since one more base runner and Senzatela will hit his fatigue number. Runners are on the corners with nobody out. Chourio is going to try for the lead. Needs a 3 through 6. And he gets a 6. He's going to go 18. Being held is a 16. -1 for being held by the pitcher is 15. 1 to 15, he steals it. And he does. It's a possible throwing error on Goodman. And if we look at Goodman's T rating, his T rating is a 5. So 1 to 5, he throws the ball away. And he does. So not only is it a stolen base, but it's a throwing error on Goodman, E2. Not only will the runner who just tried to steal Chourio get third, but the runner on third will come in to score on the E2. So he scores on 2 errors by the catcher. Goodman has made 2 errors in this inning, back to back, one on the ground ball and one on the throw for the steal. So aggressive base running by the Brew Crew has paid off. It's now 2-0 Milwaukee. Chourio now at third with nobody out, and Christian Yelich, the batter. Infield is in. Infield is in for the Rockies for sure. That's a 3-6, and that doesn't matter where they are. That's a 1 to 6 double. Tabby, what are you doing? 1 to 6 double, 7 to 20 single. And that is a single. Didn't matter about the stars because he was on third already. Now you're sitting on, she's sitting right on my bullpen. Are you kidding me? All right, folks. What am I to do with this? You tell me. What am I to do with this? She's sitting right on my bullpen. My bullpen's right here. And she's sitting right there. Tabby, can you move from my bullpen? Can I get my bullpen? And I'm afraid if I reach under, she's going to try to bite me or something. So I don't know. This could be dangerous here. I didn't wear, long sleeves or anything. So hopefully she won't. Let's see if I can get a couple guys out of the bullpen here, Tabby. Thank you for not scratching at me for that. Well, now after I go through all that precision to get the bullpen out, and then she leaves. Okay. She doesn't know what she wants. She does not know what she wants. All right. So Senzatela has now reached fatigue. And let's see. Contreras is your batter, but Yelich might try to get a lead here. He needs a 2 through 5 or a 12. Does not get the lead. He will hold. Here is Contreras. This is the last batter Senzatela is going to face most likely. If he hits a dot, he's going to come out automatically. So if he hits a dot for fatigue on 4-2, 4-6, 5-5, any of those 3 rolls, he's got to come out automatically. 4-8 is going to be a walk, and he's done. Okay, that's it for him right there. They gave him one more chance, and he just wasn't able to get it done. So that's going to be it for Senzatela. He's going to go 4+, but he can't go any further. He's given up 3 runs, 2 of them earned, but he's also responsible for these 2. So we go to the bullpen for the Rockies. And with the left-hander coming up, the left-hander Frelick coming up, and then Mitchell. So 2 out of the next 3 are left. Actually, 3 of the next 4 are left-handed. So the left-handed reliever, the one they used this morning was I believe was Peralta. So they're going to go with Alexander in this one, not the same Alexander that pitched to start the game for the Brewers. This is a different Alexander. This Alexander will actually go to San Francisco later on. But right now he's with the Rockies. So Alexander is on. He's a -1 hold, which makes him a 0, combining with +1 from Goodman. So now he's on to try to quell the rally and keep it. Tabby, I know you're not getting back up here again. Don't even think about it. No, don't even think about it. Stay there. All right, so Alexander will be facing the lefty Sal Frelick. First and second, nobody out. 310, and that's a single to left field. Base hit to left. Left fielder arm is a +1 Bouchard. Yelich runs at a 16. He was not being home, makes him a 17. So it's a 1-17 plus the 1 error, 1-18. So 1-18, he will score. And it was almost an 18, but he would have scored anyway. So it's an RBI single. Contreras doesn't run well. Will hold at second base. That run is also charged to Senzatela. And it's now 4-0. Brew Crew, still nobody out. Here's Rhys Hoskins. 2-4 against the lefty. That's a ballpark single check. You know what happens with that. 1-19 is going to load the bases. And it does. So Alexander not doing well either, but I do use the modern rules with the modern season. So he has to face 3 batters. He's only faced 2. So Garrett Mitchell, probably the last one he's going to face. And the Rockies will most likely go to Jimmy Herget out of the bullpen. Right-hander after this. But Alexander has to face Mitchell. First and second, nobody out. This is his 3rd batter faced. Lefty-lefty, 2-5, and that's a walk, and that's going to do it for Alexander. He didn't last long either. Bases are loaded still. This could be another bat-around inning. We get a lot of that with the Rockies, it seems like. So Alexander gives up 2 hits and a walk, doesn't get anybody out. He will leave, and Jimmy Herget 1-2 with a 2.48 ERA on the 2025 season. Pitched 83 innings, so the Rockies seem to like him a lot. Tabby, no, stay down. He's got 2 innings on his fatigue, so they're hoping he can eat some innings and get him out of this jam. Bases are loaded, nobody out, and Oliver Dunn steps up. Infield is in. Tabby, all right, get up there. Get out of the way. Come on. What are you doing? You're not going to, no, Tabby. All right, well, keep your tail out of the tire. How about that? But you're on my score sheet, Tabby. Come on, you got to move a little bit. You're on my score sheet. Come on. That's not the place to be. Come on, get over here. All right, infield in. That's a 2. Balk or pass ball possibility. It's a balk possibility. He balks at a 9. He could balk in a run as soon as he comes in. And he does. That's the Rockies for you. He comes in the first. Before he even faces a batter, he balks, and that brings in a run and moves everybody up 90 feet. So runners now at second and third. 4 runs in on the inning. Tabby. Well, we can close the book now on Senzatela at least. He has given up 5 runs, 4 of them earned. We'll do the rest of it later. Tabby. Tabby, no, come on, get down. Come on. No, I don't care if you're fussing. Get down. All right, so back to the game. That's another 2. This is a pass ball chance on the catcher Goodman. His pass ball chance is only a 1, so no pass ball. Here is Oliver Dunn. Infield in again, second, third, nobody out. 6'4", he is a left-handed hitter. Fly ball center field X, that's Doyle. He's a 1. 1 and a 7. See if that's an F2. Probably a sac fly coming up. 1 and a 7 is an F2, so it will be a sacrifice fly to center field, assuming there's no error. Can't assume there's no error here. He is an E3, which means he has to avoid 16 and 18. 17, he barely didn't make the error. So it is a sacrifice fly to center. It will score Hoskins. That's 6 runs in the inning for Milwaukee. Mitchell also has a chance, I think. Let's see here, F2. Runner on second has a chance to go to third as well, if he so chooses. Mitchell is a 17, but he's a -3 arm. But they're winning by so much. I mean, they really have nothing to lose here by going for third. So because getting the third with less than 1 out is big. 17 minus the 3, so 1 to 14, and he will take third base on that fly to center. And he does. So not only is it a sac fly, but he moves the runner to third. So RBI there for Oliver Dunn. Brings up Joey Ortiz. Infield still in with a runner at third and 1 out. That's a 6-4. It's a fly ball center field X again. One more time for Doyle. A 1 and an 8. See if he can prevent the sac fly this time. He cannot. 1 and 8's an F2. That's why tagging up and going to third made all the difference. Another sacrifice fly to center field, assuming there's no error. I'm going to assume there's not. That's an 11, so there's no error there. But 2 sacrifice flies in a row, and again, for the second game in a row, I've got to adjust the score sheet for a bat around. So now that'll bring up Bryce Turang for his second at bat of the inning. All this started, and all these runs are unearned because of the error on Goodman to start the inning. Got the inning off to a bad start. 5-6, it's a strikeout, and the inning is mercifully over. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spot for the Brewers, and they lead it 8-0. This is eerily similar to game 1 that I played at noon today. All right, so let's get the numbers on Senzatela completely, even though they were awful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got him for 8 hits. And he walked a couple, I think. Let's see. Or did he? I think he just walked the 1. He just walked Contreras. That was the only walk. And he struck out just the 1 here. So he 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Alexander came in here, gives up all 3 runs are charged to him. Let's see. One of them is unearned because that sac fly would not have occurred. Had this error not occurred, that would have been the 3rd out. So we'll make him 2 earned runs. But it was ugly, no question about it. And Grant Anderson's going to come back out for the Brew Crew and pitch another inning. Why not? They lead it 8-0. Folks, we know that when you play the 25 Rockies, that's why it's called the Rocky Horror Baseball Show, because they're so bad. I mean, none of this should be a surprise. I mean, they won 3 in a row against the Athletics, but that was an anomaly. And that just tells you how bad the Athletics are. Here's Doyle, 6-4. That is a walk. Last thing you want. Oh, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be Doyle. It should be Veen. My bad. Didn't have my player card out. Veen. Veen is the batter. He's a lefty, so 6-4 lefty is actually a ballpark single check. It's not a walk, it's a ballpark single, but we know what's going to happen there, and that's a base hit for Veen. All right, that will send up. That will now send up Brenton Doyle. 5-9, and that is a strikeout. 3rd strikeout for Anderson. 1 away for Sean Bouchard. Veen still at first, not going anywhere. 4-7 for Anderson. 1-3 is a single. Anything else, he lines it to Dunn at 3rd. And that is a line out to Dunn. 2 down for Tovar, shortstop. Tovar, 6-6 against the right-hander. That's a double, 1-5. Single, 6-20. Only 2 stars, so the runner cannot score. That will be a double for Tovar. Stopping at 3rd base is Veen. So 2 on, 2 out for Ryan McMahon. And by definition, it's still a clutch situation despite the score. So McMahon in the clutch will lose a hit on 1-2. 3-9, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. That's going to do it for Anderson. He's going to go 2 innings. And he basically gives up 2 hits and nothing else, registering 4 strikeouts. So the Brewers will go to their bullpen for another pitcher for the 6th inning. At the end of 6, it's 8-0 in favor of the Brew Crew. It'll be Churio to lead things off. in the 6th. Now the columns are out of order because of the bat around, but that's just the way it worked out. So now we'll send up Churio 5-8, and that's a ground ball second base X. Farmer's a 3. 3 and an 8, he'll get to that. The only errors he can make on E5, second base, are 16 and 18. And that's a 13, so he's good to go. Makes the play, 1 away for Christian Yelich. 3-8 for Yelich, and that's a home run, 1-19. So this looks like it's going deep to me, and it is. First home run of the game for either team. It is Christian Yelich. That 3-8 result to what we rolled, 3-8 right there, home run, 1-19. So it is now 9-0 Milwaukee. Contreras 6-3. 6-3 against Herget is a fly to left X. We're checking left fielder Bouchard. He's a 4. 4 and a 10. I think he's okay with that. Check it out here. 4 and a 10. 4 and a 10. Nope, it's actually going to be a single. 4 and a 10 is a single. Oops, that white die hung up there. Let's re-roll that. That's a total of 12, and he is an E13. And there's a 12 right there. So not only is it a single, but it's a 2-base error on top of that. So it's a single plus a 2-base error on Bouchard, the left fielder. Puts the runner at third with only 1 out, and the infield has to come in now for Sal Frelick. That's a 2-5, and that doesn't matter where they're playing. It's a single to left field. Could be an unearned run depending on what happens the rest of the inning, but it counts all the same, and it is now 10-0. Not going to be any more stolen bases, not with the score being what it is. Here's Rhys Hoskins. 2-6 for Hoskins. That's a fly to center. 2 down for Garrett Mitchell. And I know this is not riveting TV with the score being what it is, but it is what it is, as they say. It's a balk chance on Herget. He's a 9, and he'll balk. So another balk. Alexander balks, and now Herget balks. So we're getting errors and balks, and we got 2 errors, actually 3 errors now on the Rockies. 2 on the catcher and 1 on Bouchard, and we've had 2 balks. So now we're at it again for Mitchell. 4-3, ballpark single. We know what happens with ballpark singles. And that's going to be a base hit. It's going to put runners at the corners now with 2 outs. And let's see, balk would have put him. So I don't know, that's borderline on whether that's an earned run or not. I can make a case both ways. And that's going to send up Oliver Dunn. That's a 3-7, and he strikes out to end the inning. That's going to be it for Herget. Herget is finished. You have 2 runs to make it 10-0. I'll let the computer figure out whether it's earned or not. I'm going to call it unearned for now because I believe that single. Actually, no, that single is a ballpark single, so it's a 1 base. So, yeah, that is unearned because the balk would have put him to second. The RBI, the single on the ballpark would have put him to third, but the error is what caused him to score. So Herget's going to go 2 innings, and he's going to strike out 2, not walk anybody. But he did give up 4 hits. And so we go to the bottom of the 6th, and we need a new pitcher for the Brew Crew. They used Anderson for 2 innings, so now they will turn to Abner Uribe. The only Uribe I ever heard in baseball was Jose Uribe, but this is Abner Uribe. Never heard of him, but he's here. 3-2, 167 ERA, and 7 saves, so pretty good. But obviously there's no save situation here in this game, so we're just getting him some work. Here's Hunter Goodman. That's a 5-11, and that's a strikeout. So the Brew Crew just establishing their dominance. Here's Farmer. Oh, the white die got held up. Let's redo it. 4-8, and that's a walk. And that'll bring up Chris Bryant, Mr. Nameless Player. See what Bryant can do. 4-7, and that's going to be a single 1-3. Anything else he grounds to first, and that's a ground ball to. I'm sorry, 3 is a single. It is a single. So surprised Chris Bryant even got a hit. That just shocked me. So was taken aback by that. Here's Tolia. First and second, 1 out. 4-8. Switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Uribe. And now we've got Zach Veen. That's a 1 possible wild pitch on a 16 or less. It's a 19 though. So that it's going your way when you got a wild pitch 1-16. The D20 comes up as 19. You just know it's your day. All right, here is Veen. 3-11 for Veen. Now, how about this? Zach Veen's going to get himself a base hit and drive in a run. He's got a double 2 stars on 1-7 or a single 8-20. That is a single 8-20, single 2 stars. RBI for Veen. He's actually 2 for 3. And the Rockies are finally off the schneid. They get a run across to make it 10-1. I'm sure the Brewers are shaking in their boots right now and getting their bullpen ready now that it's 10-1. Here's Doyle. 4-9, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So he strikes out the side, does Uribe. But in the meantime, he gives up 2 hits and a walk and a run. And that's going to be it for Uribe. He'll go his 1 inning. And now we go to the top of the 7th. And the Rockies will need a new pitcher. There's not a whole lot of people in the bullpen raising their hand asking to come in and begging to come in. But what are you going to do? They're going to go with Tyler Kinley out of the bullpen. He will later go to Atlanta. He was 6-3, 3.96 ERA, Tyler Kinley. And I'm just basically using guys that did not pitch this afternoon. All right, so Kinley is going to start us off against Joey Ortiz, the shortstop. And for those that are still here, thank you. I know it's a lousy game, but, playing lousy teams, what do you expect? Here's Joey Ortiz, 3-8. And that's a line out to first. That's 1 away. I think there was a false sense of security when they beat the Athletics 3 in a row, but I think reality is setting back in for the Rockies now. Here's Turang. 2-10 for Turang, and he hits a ground ball to second. 2 down. Now Tabby wants to get in the way again. Here comes Jackson Churio. 2-5 for Churio, and he strikes out. So nice outing there. Nice inning, I should say, for Kinley. They'll pitch him a second inning as well, since he went 1-2-3. 7th inning stretch time. Brewers need a new pitcher. Let's see who they want to go to. Looks like Trevor McGill will be coming on. Actually, he was our closer, so let's not put him out there just yet. We'll go to Jared Koenig instead. He didn't pitch in the first game. Lefty Jared Koenig. Koenig, 8-1, 2.86 ERA for Jared Koenig. So Koenig is in the game. He is a left-handed pitcher. He'll be facing Bouchard, Tovar, and McMahon for the Rockies. That is a 2-8 against the left-hander, and he struck him out. So Koenig comes in, strikes out the first man he faces. Here's Tovar, 5-5, and that's a strikeout. So Koenig strikes out the first 2 he faces. And here's McMahon, lefty-lefty. 4-3. It's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Dunn, 4E37. 4-12. He'll get to it, but the E37 is going to be complicated. He's already made 1 error. So E37 at third base, he's got to avoid, like I said, 9, 11, 12, 15, 16, and 17. Whoop, that didn't go through. Let's redo that again. There we go. And 11, same thing that got him last time, gets him again. E37 and 11. That's the exact number he rolled last time. That's his second error. Second error of the game on Dunn. Keeps the inning going for Hunter Goodman. It's a 3-5 for Goodman. That's a home run, 1-13. 14-20 is a double. And that's a home run for Hunter Goodman. He has hit yet another home run. The unearned runs based on the error that should have ended the inning. So let me get the number on Goodman on his home runs. I've got that up on the computer. For Goodman, that is his 6th home run of the replay. In just the 11th game for the Rockies, he's got 6 home runs already. 2-run shot, but it is unearned. And now that'll send up Kyle Farmer. 3-8 for Farmer, and that's a pop to third. That will end the inning. So a 2-run home run, and that's going to be it for Koenig. He's going to go 1 inning, give up 2 runs, which were unearned. Based on the home run, he did strike out 2. So Kinley will come out for another inning. Try to eat some innings, as they say. It is now a 10-3 ball game. Ben, what was a 10? Did I misread a die? Did I misread a die roll? I'm trying to figure out your comment there, Ben. I'm not sure. On done? Oh, I rolled a 10 instead of an 11. Is that what you're saying? Let me go back and look at this. If that's the case, I'll correct it because I want to make the stats correct. I will pull up this stream and back it up here. Let me back the stream up. Thank you for letting me know that if I misread that. I'm trying to read this through the little hole here sometimes. It's hard to see it. So let me double check this real quick and go back and look at that because I do want to get it correct. So let me go back here. Yeah, I know I said 11, but I want to double check here. Not that I mean, it's definitely possible that I didn't, especially with Tabby, get, all over the place. All right, here's McMahon. All right, so I think this is the roll right here with the McMahon. And we're rolling for an error on done. So let's see how that turns out. I don't know if you can see it on here or not. That's a 1. Let's see, what did I do here? It was a 10. You were correct. That's 6-3 and a 1. It was a 10. Thank you, Ben, for letting me know that. And I need to fix this because Goodman should have never batted. And this should be a 5-3 ground out. Thank you so much for catching that for me. I don't want to give the Rockies any extra stats that they don't earn. So it keeps it a 10-1 game, which means he gives up 0 runs now and 0 hits. And it's only 1 error now on done, not 2. Thank you so much for that, Ben. I don't know how I missed that thing there, but so here we go. Kinley back out for the second inning of work. It is still 10-1. My bad, not 10-3. And Christian Yelich will lead things off. 6-6 lefty struck him out. 1 away for Contreras. 4-8, and that's a walk. Walk to Contreras. Brings up Sal Frelick. That's a 2, balk or pass ball. Looking at a balk, which is a 4. No balk. So Kinley will pitch to Frelick. 1-8, and that's going to be a pop up to short. 2 down. Kudos to you, Ben. I'm surprised with the score of this game that anybody was that attentive enough to see the error, but I appreciate it. Here's Hoskins. 6-10. And that's a line out to third to end the inning. So that's going to do it for Kinley. He's going to go 2 innings. And they'll bring out somebody. They might even have a position player pitch. I think they might have a position player pitch the 9th. Let's see. 2 strikeouts and a walk. No runs, no hits. And for the Brewers, they will save McGill for the 9th. So let's see. They're going to go to. He pitched an inning in the first game, but it's not unheard of to bring him out again. So Nick Mears will come on. There are a couple guys in the bullpen that are not carded, and I'd rather not use a nameless pitcher if I can avoid it. So we're going to go with Nick Mears. Like I said, this is a bullpen game for Milwaukee. And let's see what happens here. Mears will be facing facing Goodman, Farmer, and Bryant. Goodman, Farmer, and Bryant due up. So the home run was taken away from Goodman because of the mistake that I made. Well, correctly taken away because he should not have had a chance to have that at bat. So here's a 4-9 on Mears, and he might get the home run anyway if he's lucky. 1-3. Goodman might still get that home run. He does not, though. It is a fly to left. So 1 away for Kyle Farmer. That is a 2-3, and that's going to be a ground ball first base C. So 3-1 ground out. If you're scoring, but I know nobody's scoring, so let's do it myself. Here's Chris Bryant, 6'10", against Mears as a catcher X. Catcher X is Contreras. He's a 2. 2 and a 6. And then E rating is a 5. 5 and let's see here. 2 and a 6 for a catcher is a probable pop out. That is a 9, and he is an E5. There's no 9 there, so it's a P/F. So again, we're going to the wild pitch rating of the pitcher. 1-8, it's a wild pitch. 1-8, it's a pass ball. And anything higher than that, it's just going to be a pop out. And it's a pop out, so that ends the inning. Bryant is out of there. That'll do it for the Rockies. We go to the 9th. Mears will pitch his 1 inning, not give up anything. And then they will bring in the one guy that has not pitched at all yet, and that's Trevor McGill. He didn't pitch in the first game, and now he gets a chance to pitch in this game. He is their closer. 6-3, 2.49 ERA, and 30 saves. The Rockies will need a new pitcher. Do they want to waste another arm, or do they want to bring in a position player to pitch? I think they'll go ahead and use another arm. They will use Louis Peralta. Actually, no, you know what they're going to do? They're going to use Halverson because he blew the save against the Athletics, and they need to get his confidence back up. So they're going to use Halverson. So Halverson will begin to pitch the 9th for the Rockies. He'll be facing Mitchell. It'll be Mitchell, Dunn, and Ortiz scheduled for the Brewers. Here in the top of the 9th of a 10-1 exciting ball game that everyone's on the edge of their seat about, I'm sure. Here's Halverson, 6'7", against the lefty, ground ball second base X. Farmer's a 3. 3 and a 20, he'll get to it. E5 and a 13. I think he's okay with that. E5 and a 13. He certainly is. 16 and 18 and only errors. So he makes the play, 1 away. And here is Oliver Dunn. 6'6", left-handed batter. He walks. So the walk to Dunn brings up Joey Ortiz. .612, righty. 612's ground ball first base X. They were not holding Dunn on. So that means Tolio will keep his 3E6 rating. 3 and a 7. Oh, a 17 might have been a double play. 3 and a 7 is going to be lucky to get an out. 3 and a 7 is a G3 pound, but they weren't holding him on, so the G3 is good. Only play will be to first. The error is an E6, and that is a 5. It's a rare play, but I'm not even going to do rare play because it's just so stupid. Let's see here. First of all, G3 rare play. What is the G3 rare play? Yeah, it hits the mound, deflects the fielder. That's real rare there, Strat. Way to up the game there. So 3-1 put out, and Dunn will take second base. Still a clutch situation, believe it or not, for Bryce Turang by definition. Of course, I could always homebrew it to change that. But 3-3 for Turang, fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. So mercifully, no more runs for the Brewers. Alverson goes 1, gives up a walk, nothing else. So we can do some totals now for the Brew Crew. They're going to total 10 runs, and they're going to do it on 14 hits and 1 error. Rockies so far 1 run on 7 hits and 3 errors. And now they're going to send up McGill to close it out. Trevor McGill. He'll be facing Tolia, Veen, and Doyle. And when you're down 10-2, it's point, or 10-1, it's pointless to pinch hit. I don't see any reason to pinch hit at all. Hello, Dr. D. Good to see you. Unfortunately, not a close game, Dr. D, but it's been a bad day-night doubleheader for the Rockies is all we can say. 5-4, switch hitter batting left. It's a ballpark single. We know that's going to be a base hit 95% of the time. And there we go, Tolia with the base hit. Here's Zach Veen, lefty hitter. 5-9, that's a strikeout from McGill. That's 1 away, and that's going to send up the top of the order in Brenton Doyle. And Tavia won't sit still. 2-7, that's a double. 1-3. 1-3 for a double. That'll be a 17, which, if I can move her tail, let's see here, is a fly to right. 2 down. Last chance, it is Sean Bouchard. Bouchard. 2-4 for Bouchard against the right-hander. Struck him out, and there's your ball game. So McGill will go 1 inning, strike out 2, and give up 1 hit, and that's it. So Rockies end up accumulating 8 hits to go with their 1 run. So 10 runs, 14 hits, and an error for the Brewers. 1 run, 8 hits, and 3 errors for the Rockies. Loser is Senzatela. He goes to 0-2. Since Alexander did not go the first 3 innings, official scorer can determine who gets the win. I'm going to give it to Anderson because he went the 2 innings. Everybody else only went 1. He went 2. So I'm going to give it to Anderson and give the win to him. Not that it matters. Rockies fall to 3-8 on the replay. And as we go to Thursday night's game, it's the final game of the series against the Brewers. And pitching matchup in that game, Ryan Feltner, a right-hander, on the mound for the Rockies. And on the mound for the Brewers, they will send Quinn Priester, right-hander. Haven't heard much out of Quinn Priester, although he did pitch. He had 24 starts last year. A 3.32 ERA, 13-3, so that doesn't look good for the Rockies at all. And then once they finish the game tomorrow night, they will head to the West Coast to have a 6-game road trip in San Diego and LA. So Friday night we'll be in San Diego for the first of 3, and then over the that's for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then Monday night we'll pick it up in LA. So we might see a Shohei Ohtani sighting. I'm not sure of the pitching rotation on that. I can double check it real quick and see if Ohtani pitches in that series. Let's see. Get the pitching matchups here. Dustin May pitches game 1. Some guy named Knack pitches game 2. And some guy named Miller pitches game 3. So there's no Ohtani pitching. He will be DHing every game, but he's not pitching. Will be no Ohtani pitching in that game. So thank you for sticking with me there, Barbara, even through this horrible 10-1 game. And of course, now I've got to deal with this sitting on my bullpen in my X charts. There she is. Very, very strange cat sometimes, I have to admit. So anyway, now that the internet or the the internet signal and whatnot has cleared up, tomorrow morning back to our regularly scheduled programming of the 1987 replay. We will be in California. Game number 537 of the 1987 American League replay, the fourth out of 5 games from July 2nd. It'll be Juan Nieves for the Brew Crew against Mike Witt for the California Angels. That'll be tomorrow morning, roughly around 9 o'clock. And then tomorrow night, roughly around 9 o'clock Eastern again, will be the final game of the Brewers and Rockies series. Hopefully the Rockies will show up and have a better show for themselves in Game 3 to end the homestand on a positive note. But that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening, whatever it is you have planned. Stay cool out there if it's hot in your area. Tabby is just kind of going to do her thing, and she's got her back turned. I think she's mad because I got on her, because now she's got it. It's like she's just turned her back on me or some reason. I don't know what the deal is for that. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Also, it's either going to be tomorrow or Friday. I'll have rounds 1, 2, and 3 of the Valero Texas Open in History Maker Golf. That'll be pre-recorded. And then, of course, on Saturday will be the NBC Game of the Week in Fall Classic Baseball. That'll be the Pirates and the Expos, 1979 Fall Classic. So that's going to do it from here. Time for me to get my rest now and try to get back on a regular schedule for tomorrow. As long as Tabby allows it. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.